Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Kilrodan. So of course, it's the month of October. Obviously, I want to do a lot of holiday content as much as I could, of course. So there's going to be more of a discussion video, if anything. So I just want to get to the point so things will just won't drag out. I know these types of videos I tend to be extremely long, so I don't want to do that here. Really, not make it too long anyway. A decent length, I guess. So, okay, I'll be talking about the Jehovah Witnesses. Yes, again, these people, ugh. Yeah, I really can't stand this group of people because they're just very close-minded. So, okay, I know it seems like, what does these individuals have to do with anything? Yes, of course, they have their own point of view when it comes to horror, of course, and whatnot, because they view horror as a pagan thing. What's okay, technically that's true, because pagans on Halloween are tight knit together, I guess. I mean, I know there's some Christians out there that do hate Halloween, but other Christians will accept Halloween as a Christian thing, which is not accurate because just like Christmas, a lot of these Christians stole Halloween and trying to claim it as their own. But anyway, I mean, technically, yes. The thing is that Christmas did come from paganism. And yes, the Jehovah Witnesses will not accept Christmas because again it's a pagan origin, which again that's technically true. Halloween and Christmas actually did come from pagans, but the problem here is that the Jehovah Witnesses, of course, view pagans as a bunch of bastards, like they're evil, which of course is a lie. Of course, when you think about it, I mean, granted, yes, no one's above criticism, sure, but they just don't do a smear campaign. That's all I'm saying. They just want to talk shit. That's literally it. Anyway, so young people ask, what's so horrible about horror films? So okay, I don't think that's a genuine question. I just think that and this website just wants to talk shit about genre. And yes, this what I'm talking about is a lot of question, which in itself just contradicts the whole point of this. Anyway, the article like I showed you a moment ago is that it was denounced by critics. Which, yes, I guess technically that's true. The critics, for the vast majority of them, they absolutely hate horror films. They just despise horror films. Yes, because too violent, too violent, too violent, too violent, too violent, too violent, too violent. Like that's the thing I hear the most when it comes to critics. It's too violent. Oh no, Jimmy's not gonna like it. So yeah, that's true. A lot of the critics just just fucking despise the horror genre just because of that. Which is shallow, yes, but still. But the problem here, well, that's technically is true, but the problem here is this is another logical fallacy because it's appealing to a authority logical fallacy. That's what that is. Which again, when you think about it, just shooting yourself in the foot, of course. And it's also a hasty generalization when you think about it. It doesn't. This article does not go into specific detail at all. And yes, this film does this. I guess you can say this article just brings up movies like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, conveniently enough, slasher movies. This is, of course, referring to the fact that the new age horror films, whatever that means, the traditional monsters have been replaced by bloodthirsty maniacs. Me, okay, pretty much pointing out the fact that okay, those Frankenstein's monster, the mummy, and all that as a werewolf. So instead, we have characters like maybe like Michael Myers instead, or maybe like Norman Bates from the Psycho movies and whatnot. So okay, this doesn't say anything and whatnot, and saying that oh, there's somebody that said that they like seeing blood and guts, like seeing people get ripped apart. Okay, so what? I still don't know what it has to do with anything. Seeing blood splatter, people's the massive amount of mainstream audiences go see a bunch of blood and guts and all that. Again, that doesn't explain anything. None of this explains anything. Adam, none of this explains anything whatsoever. Because apparently the first Friday the 13th just pretty much just consists of just mayhem craziness. Again, saying it like that does not explain anything. Like, how is it crazy? Like for example, the first Friday the 13th movie is vastly different compared to the rest of the series, and those movies are different than the Halloween movies. I mean, they're similar enough, I guess, to some extent, because when you think about ultimately the Friday the 13th movies are the Halloween movies just ramped up to 11 when you think about it, because of the gore factor, and the Halloween movies, those with the Michael Myers, the vast majority of these movies, I say vast majority and say all, but most of these movies aren't gory at all. It's mostly left to your imagination for the most part. And I mean, yes, the even the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, since we're talking about slasher films, most of these movies they can be pretty gory in some lot of ways. They can be pretty blood. They're not absurdly gory or anything. They're not like super graphic. I mean, they are graphic, but not insanely graphic or anything. But even then, it's not super extremely gory like these people are trying to claim it to be. It just comes off they're just so focused on these characters getting killed off in gruesome ways. This article is just focusing on that and nothing more. Just oh, it's graphic, it's so bloody, and whatnot. It's so gory. That's just whoever wrote this article is just so focused on that and nothing else, really, nothing else. Because again, it's just generalizing. It's generalizing this for the most part because it's not explaining anything. Nothing is said here. And yes, the Jehovah Witnesses, just like many of the other denominations of Christianity, really believe that there's like a spiritual warfare and of some kind, which yes does play into this because you have to watch these movies with caution. I guess if you are well, it's not recommended to watch these movies, but if you are, you have to proceed with caution, I guess. But it's also the fact that with the Jehovah's Witnesses, you have to spend every waking moment, at least as much as you could anyway, studying the Bible. Even if you're not too occupied with work, assuming you have work, like a job, you have to spend every waking minute on Bible studies. Assuming you don't have like Social Security, SSD, SSI, EBD, or whatever kind of government assistance you have, whatever the case is, assuming you don't have that, just spend literally every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, literally your entire life, the Bible, study the Bible, study the Bible, just do nothing else except study the Bible. So they much rather have you study that, so just so you mean good graces of Jehovah, which sounds like very much of a cart light because it is. Because they're trying to prepare yourself for Armageddon because they believe Armageddon is to come any day now. I mean, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they're known for these failed predictions. Oh, it's gonna come in so and so date. It's gonna come in so and so year. But they failed over and over and over. They were just failed like 80 times over. Now they just switched it up. Like I guess they're trying to retcon what was said before. They're trying to retcon what they said before by saying that it's any day now. It's literally any day now. And they will attempt to use current events as a convenient way to explain away what they did. Like the whole thing with Russia's doing and whatnot. I think the whole thing was Israel and all that, just like those conflicts is happening like right now, like the very second. They're trying to use stuff like this as a way to talk about it, as a way to really convince, really hit, uh, I guess, put the nail in the coffin, so to speak. That's not the way to say it, but you get my point here. Trying to really sell it, trying to really sell that the end of days, the final of the final days of the final moment of the final second is any day now. It's literally any day. Which of course is extremely vague, and just like the article, it's really it's really generalized. It's not getting too specific. I think they were talking. Whoever wrote this, we're talking about the lore, the appeal to horror movies because is this the carnage, the bloody mayhem they were sending many youths to the box office to make a lot of money. Again, just really trying to hammer in it's the blood and guts, the blood and guts, the blood and guts, the blood and guts. That's like the only thing they're hammering in there. Just that. Just they don't go beyond the goriness. I mean, are there a lot of horror films that are bloody? Absolutely. There's plenty. But that's like a subgenre of horror. That's yeah, it's called the blood splatter horror subgenre. Is the blood splatter? I mean, is this blood splatter popular among horror? Yes, absolutely, it is. But the problem here, again, that's true. But again, the problem here is that they don't look further into it. They don't look further into beyond that. It's very, very shallow, but they're trying to make it deep at the same time. But it's simultaneously shallow, but they're trying to make it deep. Again, and I keep repeating myself, so excuse me here, folks. But they're not getting into much detail. They would mention something about a 16-year-old. The said 16-year-old says that then likes blood and guts and whatnot. But based apparently most of the movie going audiences, or most of the movie going audiences are teenagers. Apparently, I mean, what are they basing this off of? I mean, they do like a list of movies, of course, as mentioned earlier. They do that. I mean, when they say they, I mean whoever wrote this article. But apparently, most of the people who will watch these movies are teenagers. Like, what are you talking about? What are you basing this off of, really? What graphs are you basing this? Are you paying attention to movie ticket sales? I mean, there are people who will do that, and it is somebody's job to do that, sure. But I know they're not doing that. Again, when I say they, I mean whoever wrote the article, of course. But again, it's not explaining enough. Let me just wrap this up here, folks. Because I'm already repeating myself over and over and over and over and over again earlier, folks. And yes, when it comes, speaking of teenagers, there's a common theme in the Friday the 13th movies. The word teenagers get killed off left and right, and as if there's some kind of correlation somehow to real life. I don't get it. I try to incinerate that that teenagers are gonna actually do that in real life. I don't get like how like many people will assume that shooting games will make people become like a school shooter, and I guess you can try to apply the same the same type of logic. In this case, the lack of logic to this. Is that what he's talking about? I'm not saying that's what they're saying, but I'm getting the vibe here. It's just really confusing. This entire thing is very badly written. It's really bad. And also, I guess one more thing will be that here is Wednesday and some Halloween stuff because I don't even know. There you go, I guess. Okay. They are doing some. When I say they, the people who are working at the Wednesdays restaurants and whatnot, they are doing some stuff for Halloween, by the way. I'm pretty sure the Jehovah Witnesses will get mad just because of that, I guess. I'm just letting you know. There you go, I guess. I'm just letting you know everyone wants to go down there and just look at the Frosties or something. There you go, I guess. Whatever. I don't know. Whatever. Just wanted to bring this up for a quick second. See ya. Oh, yeah. Later.